There are two levers in front of you right now. You pull one, it grows your company by 5%. You pull the other, it grows your company by 50%. Most business owners think that they're pulling the lever that makes them 50%. But the reality is they're doing the one that only makes you 5%. And they're wondering why they're barely moving forward. So let me tell you exactly what I mean. Business owners by default like the safe option. I'm no different, right? I'm a web developer by trade. So my thing is I like building websites. I've always enjoyed it. It's something that I feel very at home doing. It's safe to me. And it always feels logical, right? If my product is better, if the websites I build are better, I will be paid more, right? But the problem is then that's where the law of diminishing returns comes into play. And the law of diminishing returns is something that gets a lot of business owners. It's pretty crazy how many people actually fall prey to this. So let me give you an example. So we're going to take a web development agency owner. This person loves making websites. And so they're really good at making websites. And the product that they make, the websites that they make are good. They're good enough for people to pay for, and they've been in business for quite a while. The issue is that they're not growing, right? They're stagnating. What feels natural is to continuously get better and continuously get faster and to continuously focus on websites. And so you're pulling this lever that's giving you diminishing returns. That's the big problem, right? So you're looking at this lever over here that feels safe, comfortable, but it's not doing a lot for you whenever you're pulling it. On the other side, you have a lever that you're not even looking at. And this could be sales, this could be marketing, this could be, any number of other things, maybe adding another service or another product. Something that actually moves the needle when you pull that lever. It gives you 50%. Whereas this one only gives you 5%, and you're so used to just pulling this lever, trying to make it work, that you don't even see the other one. This happens constantly in business. This happens to so many people. I've fallen prey to this in the past, and so that's why we're making the video. So think about it like this. If you have a bad product, then pulling the lever that makes that product better is good, right? It's gonna be a huge upgrade, right? If you're charging $5,000 for a website and your websites suck, there you go. Pull the lever. Your websites are now good. People don't mind paying $5,000 for them. But if you pull the lever again, your website is only going to get 5-10% better than before, right? Because they're already good. Now they're going to the top 10% of websites, or the top 0.1% of websites, or whatever it is. So what's happening is you're diminishing your returns on your time and your investment, focusing on making this better. Once it's good, you're good to go, right? So there is a truth in good enough. And that is where diminishing returns comes in, right? So let's say that your website is 50% good and you pull the lever, right? So you focus on making your websites better for your clients. Now your websites are 90% good. You pull the lever again. Now they're 95% good. Does that make sense? You're diminishing the returns every time you pull that lever. So the reality is you want to pull the lever. You want to get to a good place with it where people look at that website that you've just built and they go, I would pay for that. That's pretty good. And you start having people come in. Now, what's going to happen is you only have the website at this stage. You don't have any other levers that you're pulling. And another lever that you might need is the sales lever, right? If nobody's out there telling people about your offer, then it's an untouched lever. You're not doing social media. You're not doing ads. You're not doing paid media or anything like that. So sure, your websites are in the top 10 percentile of websites. However, nobody knows about them. Okay, so what do? Well, we come over to the marketing lever and we pull that, right? And your marketing, let's say it's at 10%, and you pull the lever one time and it goes to 50. That is a huge increase. Whereas if you come back over here and you just pull this lever again, it's a couple of percent. You know what I mean? You're not making much money over here. Whereas if you pull the lever on sales and marketing, more things happen. Right? And if you're like, okay, cool, now we have both of these levers, right? This one's at 80, 90%. This one's at 80, 90%. We're in a good place. What happens? Do we pull one? No, you go find another lever and you pull that, right? So to give you an idea, if you have websites and now you have sales and you're actually doing your marketing, now what you can do is you can be like, oh, well, now we want to do a funnel. That's the new offer that we want to offer. So you pull a third lever. Focusing on things that are working nearly optimally is diminishing returns. Don't spend your time on that stuff. Get it good enough and then move on to the next thing. And then get that good enough and then move on to the next thing. And rinse, wash, and repeat. And that is how you scale businesses exceptionally well. And here's the thing, full transparency in this video, I didn't come up with this. I learned this from Alex Hermosi. I did it myself and I was like, oh yeah, this solved a problem for me. So I wanted to share it. So I quickly want to go over why people pull the wrong lever. It usually comes down to a few things. There's very few. None of them really make a lot of sense whenever you actually sit down and think about them logically. And if you think you can make it logical, your brain, like you can trick yourself into making it seem like it's logical. Well, I started my company to build websites, not to do marketing and sales, even for your own company. So I'm just going to keep pulling this lever. You know what I mean? You can sit here and like go through the logic in your head and be like, well, if our websites are better, then more people will pay for them and they'll pay a higher ticket. Let's go with this one. You know what I mean? I challenge you to just take a step back and just look at everything. Look at all the levers in front of you because there's a ton of them. I mean, literally hundreds of levers in front of you for your business and for your entrepreneurial journey. You could pull tons of these levers. Some of them start at 1% and then you pull it and it goes to 2%. You know what I mean? Some of them are just not worth it. Some of them you pull it and it goes from 1 to 90%. Some of you pull it and it goes from 1 to 50 and you might have to pull it a couple times. You know what I mean? Like there's a variety out there. But one of the key reasons why people only sit there and pull the same lever for whatever they're comfortable with is just that. It's comfort. We don't like to feel like we're out of our safe zone, like we're uncomfortable. But the reality is, as a business owner, you are everything to your business. You are a web designer, right? Again, web agency. You're the web designer. You're the guy who builds the websites. You're the salesman. You're the social media manager. You're the chief operations officer. You're the accountant. You're all of these hats. You're HR. You're whatever you want to be. Like you have to wear all the hats whenever you're a small company. It's just the reality of how things go. So whenever it comes right down to it, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable to be a business owner and to grow. And so that's where you start seeing these other levers, right? I'm in it right now where I'm like, oh, sales, let's do that. We're hiring our first sales guy. There you go. We pull this lever after we pulled this lever 5 times. You know what I mean? This one's pretty maxed out. This one, no. I mean, we pull it once, now we have somebody else who can chase leads and stuff because I can't text everybody in a day, you know what I mean? Or call or email. A cool statement is a B+ product with a ton of visibility on it, right? Good marketing, social media, all that stuff will outshine an A+ product with no visibility. And it'll do it 100% of the time, right? Because the B+ product, it's good enough, and then we're just going out. Yes, the B+ product, it might become an A- at some point, but the main focus is visibility and just going out and pulling these levers and just continually building these silos of improvement and optimization within the business without just focusing on the one lever every single time. So the next time that you're feeling stuck or the next time that you're having trouble scaling, or if you're stuck right now, I want you to take a step back and I want you to look at all of the levers that are in front of you and ask yourself, which lever do I need to pull to get the most return on investment? And which lever, if I pull it, will give me diminishing returns because I've already pulled it multiple times. Something to think about. It changed the way that my business ran, and it's changed a lot of other businesses out there. Massive deal. Also, another thing that I run into with a lot of business owners is so many business owners out there love to just learn. They love to just learn, and not do. So the video on screen right now will actually help you go from just learning to doing. And you can learn while you're doing, or you can just do and then learn after, or however you want to do it. But the key phrase or the key word or the key focus here is do. You got to start doing. And I'll see you in the next video. Much love and peace.